Hey everyone! Today we're diving into the first time Princes William and Harry openly shared their feelings about their late mother, Princess Diana. Some pains never fade, but they can make us stronger. After years of silence, they finally spoke about loss growing up and how their mother's presence still watches over them. What about you? If you've ever experienced a loss that made you stronger, drop a 1. If not, comment 0. Don't forget to like and subscribe. William came across a file he was never meant to see. But once he opened it, everything he thought he knew about that tragic night in 1997 shifted. Inside was a private letter, an unreleased report, and a series of puzzling details that appeared to link Princess Diana's deep concerns to individuals she had once placed her trust in. The crash in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel was more than just a heartbreaking moment for many. It remains surrounded by unanswered questions. Some see it as a tragic accident, others believe there may be more to the story than meets the eye. At around 12:25 a.m. in Paris, the car carrying Princess Diana, her companion Dodi Al-Fayed bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones, and driver Henri Paul struck the 13th pillar of the tunnel. In a matter of seconds, a quiet night turned into a moment that would shock the entire world. The news traveled rapidly. By 4 a.m. major television networks across Europe and North America had interrupted their regular programming to share the heartbreaking update about Princess Diana. Outside Kensington Palace, mourners gathered in growing numbers. In just 10 days, the sea of memorial flowers reached nearly 5 feet high, a powerful reflection of the world's collective grief. Why did Diana, a woman known for her caution, choose not to wear a seatbelt that night? Why were none of the traffic cameras in the tunnel functioning or able to capture footage of the crash? And was driver Henri Paul truly under the influence, as reported when several witnesses described him as appearing completely sober? The official French report released in 1999 concluded that Henri Paul had a blood alcohol level over 3 times the legal limit and was also taking prescribed antidepressant medication. Still, conflicting accounts and eyewitness testimonies left many unable to set their doubts aside. Princess Diana's passing wasn't just a global tragedy, it left a lasting emotional scar on Prince William. Yet with time, pieces of a long-buried story gradually began to surface. Lady Sarah McCorquodale, Diana's older sister, had remained almost entirely silent for years. But during a private family gathering in 2023, she chose to speak publicly for the first time. She revealed that it was she who first introduced Diana to Prince Charles, having once dated him herself. A lighthearted comment Sarah had made years earlier, "I wouldn't marry Charles, whether he were a street sweeper or the King of England," brought their relationship to an end and unintentionally set the stage for the historic yet ultimately troubled marriage between Diana and Charles. A handwritten letter from Princess Diana to her sister Sarah, dated 1993, and later found by William, unveiled a series of deeply personal revelations. In it, Diana expressed feeling valued more for her public image than for who she truly was, describing herself as a sacrificial lamb within the royal circle. Her reflections on Prince Charles's emotional distance, Camilla's persistent presence, and an unsettling sense that something dark was about to happen left a lasting impression on those who read it. Sarah held on to the letter for 30 years. Its existence remained unknown until William personally reached out and asked about the past. Even 26 years after Princess Diana's passing, the questions still linger not only in the minds of the public, but also in the hearts of her 2 sons. Whatever the full truth may be, one thing remains certain: the legacy of the princess continues to resonate to this day. She was not only a symbol of compassion, but also a devoted mother, a woman who lived authentically, loved deeply, and spoke her truth. In the handwritten letter to her sister Sarah, Princess Diana spoke of Prince Charles's emotional distance, Camilla's shadowy presence, and a growing sense that something troubling was on the horizon. Sarah later admitted she hadn't fully understood the weight of those warnings until after the heartbreaking accident. What led Sarah to finally break her silence wasn't just guilt, it was a conversation with Prince William in early 2023. When William asked her directly, "What did Mom tell you that summer?" Sarah broke down in tears and handed him the precious letter. She confessed, "I used to think it didn't matter. I was wrong." That moment completely changed how William understood the final years before his mother's passing. For the first time, William saw it not just as a tragic accident, but as the result of a long, complex chain of events. At the heart of it was a deeply painful wound, the affair that deeply affected Diana's spirit. This story didn't start in Paris or end at Kensington. It began with secret phone calls, hidden meetings, and the constant presence of Camilla casting a shadow over every place Diana entered. As early as 1980, when Diana was just 19 and preparing for royal life, Charles's relationship with Camilla was still ongoing. Doubts started to grow in Diana's heart when only weeks after the wedding she found photos, letters, and even a bracelet engraved with the initials GF, Camilla's private nickname, standing for Girl Friday. This discovery deeply affected Diana. In later private interviews, she shared that her battle with bulimia began at that moment, her weight dropping from 61 kilos to under 50 kilos within just 2 months. Diana felt isolated, helpless, and utterly alone within the cold walls of Buckingham Palace. While she struggled in silence, Charles led a double life publicly, the cheerful prince, but privately exchanging affectionate words with Camilla. Diana's emotional struggles were often dismissed as hysteria, and she was increasingly seen not as a person with real feelings, but as a public figure for the royal family. It wasn't until 1995, during her iconic BBC Panorama interview, that Diana bravely revealed the truth the palace had long tried to keep hidden. "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." That simple sentence wasn't just shocking, it was a direct challenge to royal tradition. Outwardly, Diana appeared composed and dignified, but inside, she was quietly unraveling. She admitted that her affairs weren't about love, they were driven by a desperate need for control, a way to feel like she still mattered. Catherine was not chosen simply for her flawless public presence. She was chosen because she proved that true resilience comes from wounds that have been healed, and that courage doesn't always need to speak. Sometimes it just needs to show up, stand firm, and keep going. Her journey from a quiet princess to the central figure in the monarchy's future is proof that real strength can emerge from silence, and in that silence, a new chapter for the monarchy is quietly being written. Despite her public show of strength, Diana was deeply hurting. In a 1996 letter to her therapist, she wrote, "Each time I smile for the cameras, a small part of me dies inside." When she met Dodi Al-Fayed, Diana wasn't searching for love, she was looking for a way to escape her pain. Sadly, that search ultimately led her to the tragic night in Paris. That night was more than just a tragic accident. It was the outcome of choices made, warnings overlooked, and long-standing struggles that began well before the crash. After the impact, a heavy silence fell, one that still lingers within the palace walls. By early 1996, Diana had stopped trying to meet the royal family's expectations. Her marriage to Charles officially ended after Queen Elizabeth II encouraged them to divorce in December 1995. The divorce was finalized in August 1996. Diana lost the title of princess and the close security detail, but she also found a new sense of freedom in the public eye, though she felt more vulnerable than ever. Her pain slowly turned into defiance. Diana stopped hiding her emotions, her public appearances, and even her anger. In her diary entries from January to May 1997, she captured the shift from despair to a growing desire for revenge. She wrote about wanting to take control of the media spotlight, gain worldwide support, and use her fame to challenge the royal family's image. Diana stopped asking permission to attend events instead. She often showed up unannounced, drawing all eyes and capturing the press's full attention. A close friend once shared that Diana called the media attention around her the only weapon I have left. This wasn't just an emotional reaction, it was a thoughtful, strategic move. In June 1997, Diana auctioned 79 of her dresses at Christie's in New York, raising over $5.7 million for AIDS and cancer charities. This gesture also sent a strong message that she was slowly moving on from her past. Just days later, Diana made her relationship with Dodi Al-Fayed, son of Egyptian billionaire Mohammed Al-Fayed, public. The romance surprised the public and stirred unease within the royal family. Photos of Diana and Dodi vacationing on a yacht along the French Riviera quickly circulated worldwide. Insiders revealed this wasn't by chance, it was a deliberate statement. By August 1997, Diana's phone calls were being monitored by both tabloid journalists and intelligence agencies. A source within MI5 disclosed that a leaked report showed officials were concerned that Diana's conversations with Dodi might affect the country's image. There were fears that Diana might leave the UK, marry a Muslim man, and take her sons with her. Aware she was being watched, Diana chose to face it head-on. In her diary on August 28, just 3 days before her passing, she wrote, "They want me quiet, but I will speak louder." This final act of courage took her to Paris, where she confronted her challenges. The journey from the Ritz Hotel to the Pont de l'Alma tunnel on the night of August 30, 1997, was marked by unusual choices, missing footage, and a series of avoidable errors. Diana and Dodi had dinner at the Ritz Paris, owned by Dodi's family. The plan was to then head to Dodi's nearby apartment, just a 5-minute drive away, but paparazzi had been waiting outside the hotel for hours. To divert attention, a decoy car was sent out front while Diana, Dodi, and bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones slipped out the back. The car they took was a 1990 Mercedes-Benz S280, driven by Henry Paul, the hotel's deputy head of security. According to staff, Paul had consumed 2 glasses of Ricard pastis and at least 3 beers earlier that evening. Tests later revealed his blood alcohol level was over 1.75 gl, more than 3 times the legal limit in France. Despite this, Diana and Dodi trusted him. Notably, neither of them wore seatbelts, a rare choice for Diana, who was usually very careful about car safety. At around 12:20 a.m., the car began moving and entered the Pont de l'Alma tunnel just 4 minutes later. What exactly happened inside the tunnel remains a subject of debate to this day. The Mercedes crashed violently into the 13th pillar at an estimated speed of 65 mph, about 105 km/h. Dodi died instantly at the scene while Henri Paul was trapped behind the wheel. Bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones suffered severe facial injuries but survived. Diana was still alive, trapped in the wreckage. Rescue workers reported that she was conscious and even whispered in pain. Diana was pulled from the car at 1 a.m., but instead of being rushed to the hospital, she was treated at the scene for 40 minutes, a decision that many believe may have cost her a chance at survival. Even more troubling, no security cameras captured the accident. The Pont de l'Alma tunnel had 14 cameras in total, but none were working that night. French authorities explained the system was outdated and did not record footage. Additionally, a traffic camera directly above the tunnel was also not functioning that evening. This lack of footage only deepened suspicions. In Diana's private notes later found by William, she wrote in June 1997, If I die in a car accident, check the cameras. That will be where the answers lie. But those cameras weren't working, leaving many questions unanswered. While the media offered many explanations, William refused to accept them. Nearly 3 decades later, during a quiet investigation, he uncovered truths hidden deep within classified files. In 2004, the Metropolitan Police Service in London launched Operation Paget, led by Lord John Stevens, to investigate the circumstances surrounding Princess Diana's death. The investigation reviewed over 175 claims, interviewed more than 300 witnesses, and examined thousands of documents from both the UK and France. One piece of evidence immediately stood out to Prince William when he accessed the files in 2023, a handwritten letter from his mother, Princess Diana, dated October 1993. The letter, handed to her butler, Paul Burrell, contained a chilling warning. "My husband is planning an accident with my car, brake failure and severe head injury." Diana believed the motive was to clear the path for Charles to marry the woman he loved, Camilla. At the time, many dismissed it as her fears, but the letter's words were strikingly specific and unsettling. Mr. Burrell kept this letter private for 11 years, only sharing it after Diana's passing. Surprisingly, it wasn't included in the official royal files until William requested a review. William also revisited claims from Mohammed Al-Fayed, who said Diana and Dodi were under surveillance. According to declassified documents, MI6 agents were active in Paris the night of the accident, with one reportedly tracking Diana's movements in real time. Even more surprising, many of these records were either deleted or blurred in the final public report access, to which William had to fight hard to get. What do you think? Is this just a coincidence, or is there something being hidden? If you think there's more to the story, drop a 2 in the comments. If you believe it was simply an accident, comment. And if you want to join us on this journey to uncover the truth, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. William uncovered many inconsistencies in the file's missing pages, conflicting timelines, and deleted digital recordings. The deeper he looked, the more convinced he became that someone was controlling the narrative about his mother. But the most heartbreaking discovery wasn't from documents. It came from a forgotten 1995 interview with lawyer Lord Mishkan, where Diana said clearly, "If I disappear, check the brakes on my car." William listened to that recording 3 times in a row. That voice was unmistakable, and the fear in it was real. Diana wasn't paranoid. She fully understood the danger she faced. Those she feared may have ignored her warnings, or worse, made sure she would never speak again. For William, it was no longer just a theory, but the undeniable truth. And that truth wasn't found in official reports. It was hidden in the erased details. So he turned to one place untouched by procedure or cover up his mother's private jewelry box. In early April 2023, William was invited to review the newly restored collection of Diana's personal belongings. Among the velvet-lined compartments and preserved documents, he found a jewelry box he hadn't seen since he was 15, just after his mother's funeral in 1997. The golden box had been carefully kept under royal protection, but its sudden return after 26 years raised many uncomfortable questions. The box was more than just a jewelry container. It was a treasure trove of memories. When opened, the familiar scent of Diana's signature Guerlain perfume from 1983 still lingered on the velvet lining. Inside were William's childhood keepsakes, a pendant from Saint-Tropez, a bracelet Diana wore at a 1995 charity event for children, and a sapphire ring that matched the one reported lost in 1998. But something felt wrong. The items weren't arranged as Diana had kept them. One drawer was stuck and another showed a fresh scratch, clear signs someone had handled the box. Even more troubling, some important pieces were missing. The gold bracelet engraved with Diana's signature, a gift from William on her 13th birthday, had been swapped for a fake. The famous sapphire pendant she wore at the 1996 Met Gala was gone too. In its place was an old, torn piece of blue fabric, hastily tucked under the lining. In a small, loose drawer beneath the mirror, William found a half-torn envelope dated August 1997 with just a few handwritten words from Diana for William, "When the time is right." But it wasn't until weeks later, when he returned to the box alone, that he uncovered the hidden truth his mother left behind. At the bottom of the box was a secret compartment. Lifting the inner lining, a panel popped open, revealing a thin, hidden drawer inside. Inside was an envelope clearly marked in Princess Diana's handwriting, addressed to Prince William and Princess Catherine, sent just in time. Inside were two letters. The first, written in January 1997, just months before Diana's passing, expressed her hopes for her eldest son's future and showed admiration for a girl with a gentle smile, likely referring to Catherine Middleton, whom William had not yet met. In the letter, Diana described the kind of life partner she hoped William would have: someone loyal, graceful, and unafraid to show kindness. She dreamed of seeing her son walk down the aisle surrounded by millions. But she also warned him about the risks of cold traditions and sincerely urged William to always choose love over strict rules. As William reread his mother's words nearly 26 years later, he felt a timeless connection, like she was still watching over him and guiding every step. But the second letter carried a darker message. In it, Dean, the letter's recipient, revealed that Diana had secretly taken 3 important pieces from the royal jewelry collection: the sapphire pendant, the engraved bracelet, and a galabutch, a unique piece of jewelry. She feared they might be stolen or unfairly divided after her passing. Diana marked the locations of those items with dots beneath the box's lining and ended the letter with a haunting warning: "If you find this, it means something has gone wrong. Protect what remains." The letter was simply signed William's mother. This message confirmed the fears William had long held. His mother had sensed danger, tried to safeguard her legacy, and sadly, she was right. But the letters weren't just emotional, they also served as legal evidence. They held clues, timelines, and proof. William didn't rush to speak to the press. Instead, he began searching the palace's hidden archives. What he uncovered revealed just how far the deception had reached. In August 2023, Prince William quietly ordered an internal review of royal jewelry records dating back to 1997 and earlier. With the help of trusted advisors and a discreet team of forensic experts, William began tracing the movement of Diana's belongings. What he uncovered was deeply concerning. Between 1998 and 2002, several jewelry boxes were transferred from Althorpe Estate to Clarence House, then to Highgrove without proper documentation. There were gaps in inventory reports, missing records, and most notably unidentified access entries. One name kept appearing: Camilla Parker Bowles. In 2001, a young archive staff member noted that Camilla had requested privacy while inspecting sealed personal items in a restricted room. Later, William's team confirmed that fingerprints found on Diana's jewelry box matched an employee from Clarence House, someone known to be closely connected to Camilla. When approached for comment, the individual declined and has since retired. A former palace staff member recalled a strange moment in 2010 when Camilla was seen holding the sapphire pendant and appeared visibly shaken when noticed. Further investigation revealed that a jeweler in Mayfair had repaired the sapphire piece in 2011 at the request of the Duchess of Cornwall. Records confirmed it was the same pendant Diana had worn at the 1996 Met Gala. The repair receipt, combined with Diana's letter, confirmed that the jewelry had been removed from the official collection. After more than 2 decades of silence, the palace's inaction no longer seemed like simple avoidance. It felt like complicity. William carefully compiled all the evidence, photographed every detail, and stored it in a secure vault beneath Kensington Palace, known only to 3 trusted individuals. Just when it seemed that everything had been uncovered, a new leak changed everything. In October 2023, a British tabloid published a shocking report strands of Diana's hair had allegedly been linked to Queen Camilla. The story spread rapidly, making headlines across major outlets. BBC, CNN, and Sky News all covered the unfolding controversy. Social media was flooded with videos and images of Diana, her iconic jewelry, and the emotional reactions from people around the world. Within just 48 hours, the hashtag Justice had spread across more than 23 countries. The public outrage was especially strong among younger generations, those who didn't witness 1997 firsthand, but grew up hearing about Diana's warmth and the injustices she faced. Camilla, once cautiously accepted by the public as queen, now faces a wave of renewed scrutiny. On October 8th, protesters gathered outside Clarence House and Buckingham Palace, laying flowers and holding banners that read, "Return what belongs to her. She's always watching." Just 2 days later, a YouGov poll revealed Camilla's public support had dropped below 22%, the lowest for a senior royal figure since the 1990s. Even longtime supporters struggled to defend her. Inside the palace, emergency meetings were held daily as the pressure mounted. King Charles reportedly called a private family meeting on October 12th, but William refused to attend unless Camilla issued an official statement. She chose to remain silent. Then, on October 20th, Camilla appeared at a charity event, noticeably without wearing any royal jewelry. The message was subtle but clear. Behind closed doors, some of Diana's marked jewelry was quietly returned to William and placed in a secure vault. But by then, the damage to Camilla's public image had already been done. On November 3rd, William gave a quiet yet powerful speech at a children's nursing home where he read a line from his mother's letter, "Choose love over rules." Though spoken gently, the words carried deep weight. Those who knew the full story understood Diana's final message had reached the right person. But behind the scenes, the situation added tension to the already fragile bond between William and Harry. While William was quietly uncovering the truth, Prince Harry remained thousands of miles away in California, completely unaware of his brother's discoveries. When news of the jewelry scandal broke in October 2023, Prince Harry's reaction was swift but deeply complicated. Sources close to the Duke of Sussex revealed that Harry had been deliberately excluded from William's investigation, a decision that widened the rift between the brothers more than ever before. Shockingly, Harry never heard about Diana's secret letters directly from William. Instead, he first learned about them through a TMZ report, a U.S. media outlet notorious for sensational headlines. This truth hit Harry hard during a private call with William in late October 2023. Palace insiders reveal that in that brief conversation lasting less than 10 minutes, Harry asked why he had been excluded from the investigation and requested access to their mother's letters. William's response was calm but resolute. "You have chosen your own path, Harry." and this is your path." The call ended abruptly, with Harry hanging up the first time the brothers had spoken after more than 8 months of silence. Soon after, Harry's camp leaked details to the American press, portraying him as hurt and feeling betrayed once again by the royal family, accusing William of deliberately withholding precious memories of their mother. Yet the reasons behind Harry's exclusion run far deeper than mere sibling rivalry. William discovered a third letter penned by Diana in July 1997, where she voiced profound concern for Harry's emotional turmoil. She described the fiery anger burning within him as a flame she feared might follow him throughout his life. The letter was meant to be handed to Harry only when he found peace within himself. Faced with this, William made the heart-wrenching decision that amid Harry's ongoing public controversies and legal battles, the time was not yet right for him to receive it. The burden of protecting both his mother's wishes and his brother's mental health weighed heavily on William, visibly aging him over the course of fall 2023. As public unrest intensified and protests surged, William took an unprecedented step. He authorized an independent scientific analysis of Diana's jewelry box and its contents. Working alongside forensic experts from Cambridge University, the investigation revealed new details that only deepened the suspicions surrounding Diana's final years and the true circumstances of her death. The presence of these chemicals suggested that the jewelry box itself might have been rigged for surveillance, perhaps a hidden tool for monitoring Diana's private communications or movements. This discovery raised alarming questions. Who planted the devices? And how deep did the surveillance on Diana truly go? The forensic team's findings added a chilling new layer to the mystery, implying that Diana was not only watched in life, but that her most personal possessions were also instruments of control. The discovery of the bugging device hidden within Diana's jewelry box confirmed the extent to which her life was invaded, turning her most intimate moments into subjects of covert surveillance. For William, it was a devastating validation of his mother's fears, exposing a web of secrecy that implicated not only palace officials, but intelligence agencies as well. This revelation shattered the veneer of royal protection, revealing a cold, calculated effort to monitor and control Diana, and it fueled William's resolve to uncover the full truth behind the tragic events that stole his mother from the world. This revelation pushed William to widen his inquiry beyond royal confines, reaching out to former intelligence operatives ready to speak out. One anonymous ex-MI5 officer confirmed long-standing suspicions from 1995 onward. Diana was flagged as a security risk due to her unpredictable behavior, tangled personal life, and outspoken nature, factors that raised significant operational concerns within the agency. When pressed on whether Diana had been under surveillance, the source answered bluntly, yes. Even more chilling was the confirmation that intelligence agencies were aware of her fears about a potential accident. In November 2023, William compiled all the evidence into a detailed 127-page dossier and personally handed it to the Metropolitan Police Commissioner. Though the dossier remains confidential, insiders reveal it contains enough new information to potentially reopen the official investigation into Diana's death. Under mounting public pressure and the weight of new evidence, Buckingham Palace initiated its most extensive crisis management campaign since the 1997 scandal. King Charles, reportedly angered by the escalating controversy surrounding Camilla, authorized the release of previously withheld documents in an attempt to steer the narrative. On November 15, 2023, the palace issued an official statement acknowledging that some of Princess Diana's personal belongings had been mishandled in the years following her death, marking a rare admission of fault from the royal institution. The statement, meticulously crafted by royal lawyers, stopped short of admitting theft, but conceded that protocols for managing royal assets had been inadequately observed. Camilla's response, conveyed through her private secretary, insisted that the Queen Consort's actions were motivated purely by a desire to safeguard items she feared might be lost or damaged. She further stressed that any jewelry in her possession had been carefully preserved with the clear intention of eventually returning it to Princes William and Harry. However, the palace's crisis management efforts only fueled deeper suspicions and left many questions unanswered. Royal biographer Andrew Morton, who collaborated closely with Diana on her candid 1992 biography, revealed that the princess confided in him about a haunting fear: "If anything happens to me, they will take everything." In a revealing BBC interview, Morton further warned they will rewrite history their own way, underscoring the ongoing battle over Diana's legacy and the truth behind her untimely death. The reputation of the British royal family hit an all-time low when investigative journalists uncovered that many of Diana's belongings had surfaced in discreet auctions between 2005 and 2015, sold by anonymous consigners. Faced with mounting evidence, palace officials feigned ignorance, yet the pattern of systematic dispersal was undeniable. It appeared that Diana's possessions were deliberately scattered, likely to prevent revelations like those William had uncovered. The fallout from this scandal rippled far beyond the UK, shaking public trust in royal transparency on an international scale. The scandal sent shockwaves through royal families across Europe and beyond, sparking uncomfortable questions about how monarchies safeguard the legacies of their deceased members. In Spain, scrutiny intensified over the handling of belongings tied to the late Queen Mercedes, prompting calls for greater transparency. Sweden responded proactively by publishing a complete inventory of royal possessions of members who passed away since 1950, setting a new standard for openness. Meanwhile, Denmark moved swiftly to introduce stricter regulations on the management and preservation of royal estates, signaling a broader shift toward accountability among European monarchies. The ripple effect was unmistakable and far-reaching. Diana's story exposed a systemic issue that transcended the UK, sparking a global conversation about royal transparency and accountability. International media coverage dealt a serious blow to royal reputations worldwide. The New York Times dedicated a week-long investigative series titled "The Royal Family's Hidden Shame," while French outlets, still sensitive to the tragic Paris accident, reignited debates over the thoroughness and openness of the official investigation. This unprecedented scrutiny forced monarchies to confront uncomfortable truths and reconsider how they preserve and protect their legacies in the public eye. The mounting international scrutiny even reached Commonwealth media outlets, which had long maintained a respectful stance toward the monarchy, prompting them to pose increasingly pointed questions about royal transparency and accountability. However, the most explosive revelation came from Germany's Despite magazine, which published a hard-hitting exposé revealing how the British royal family systematically silenced Diana's voice in the years following her death. Drawing on candid interviews with former palace insiders and government officials, the article portrayed a deliberate campaign of historical revisionism that extended well beyond the jewelry scandal, one aimed at controlling the narrative and suppressing uncomfortable truths about the late princess's life and legacy. Queen Camilla's reputation suffered a dramatic global decline, with surveys across 12 countries revealing her approval rating plummeted below 30% everywhere. Even more striking was the broader impact on the monarchy itself. Public trust eroded significantly, particularly among younger generations who saw Diana's mistreatment as emblematic of deep-rooted corruption and injustice within established power systems. This growing disenchantment sparked renewed debates about the relevance and future of the royal institution in the modern world. The truth can never be hidden forever. The princess they hope to erase has found her voice once more through her son, through hidden letters, and through a box once believed lost, but now uncovered. The truth is clear and visible in Diana's words, in William's quiet sorrow, and in the corners of the royal family that have long avoided facing it. But now the silence has been shattered. Diana's voice lives on through her son, through the letters and legacy she left behind. Justice might not come with arrests, but it arrives with honesty and clarity. The woman who once said in this marriage, "There were 3 people, so it was a bit crowded," has finally spoken her truth. From beyond the grave, she has revealed those who tried to wipe her from history. William's investigation moves forward, steady and determined. The dossier gets bigger every month as more witnesses speak up, new documents surface, and inconsistencies in the official story become harder to ignore. Diana's 2 sons may have chosen different roads, but her truth has bound them in ways even they don't fully realize. The jewelry is back where it belongs, but the questions still linger. The letters are now public, but their true impact is still coming to light. While the palace has acknowledged errors, the full story of what happened to Diana before and after her death is still being revealed. What happened to Diana wasn't just a betrayal, it was an attempt to rewrite history. In the end, the public remembers their princess not through sensational headlines or rumors, but through the tireless and careful pursuit of truth by a son who never stopped loving, missing, and believing his mother deserved justice. In the end, Diana achieved what she always wanted to be remembered, not as a victim, but as a mother who gave her children the strength to uncover the truth. Through this journey, William not only honors his mother, but also solidifies her legacy and place in history. Do you believe Princess Diana's story is a powerful example of maternal love and relentless determination? If so, please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to help bring this story to more people.